I didn't realize what intro I actually hit, but I hit the Meet the Grams intro version. I don't feel like we're gonna ether anybody, but there was some fire burning on Wednesday's Dynamite, so maybe.
I thought you were gonna hit us with the what is it? Dear Ayana, your father is.
Hello, everyone. It is In the Weeds. I'm Jeremy Lemmer. That is SP3. Joel Pearl, as usual, two-show Joel running from the grind here on a Friday. It is Friday, September 6th. As always, a big weekend in wrestling, a big week in wrestling. It never stops, SP3. You know it better than anybody. It never stops. How you doing, buddy?
No rest for the week. I my official catchphrase is I run to the grind, and I'm here for the grind. That is In the Weeds. Glad to be back here on a Friday with Jeremy. Hopefully, we won't have. I think it was like a 2-hour discussion on all of our issues with AEW, like we did last time I was on here on a Friday. We got some good things to talk about with AEW as they got All Out this weekend, which with a 2-week build, this is one of the best 2-week build cards that I think they've ever put together, or any wrestling company in that matter. Usually 2 weeks builds doesn't have like great builds, but I think the build in the 2 weeks that they had has been really, really strong, especially with the closing angle to AEW Dynamite. So we got that show to discuss. We got some Dynamite to discuss. We got WWE SmackDown and Cody and Solo. He's answering the challenge from Solo Sikoa, probably on the premiere of SmackDown next week on USA. Spoiler alert. The final SmackDown on Fox. We need to reminisce and talk about what will the Fox era of SmackDown be remembered as we close out that book on tonight. Tonight, we also got the Friday Night War with AEW Collision, Rampage, and Countdown to All Out. So if you like AEW, you're getting 4 hours of it tonight. So there is a lot for us to discuss. New Japan is back this weekend. Shingo Takagi's 20th anniversary, as well as the Road to Destruction with Yota Tsuji versus Jeff Cobb. We wrap it all up. It's going to be like the True Hill Heat meets In the Weeds, where we'll talk about everything throughout the next 2 hours.
Appreciate you joining us here today, SP3. And guys, you can leave a thumbs up on the video, get some fireworks like we had. I don't know if we have any like flames. That'd be cool if we did have some flames going up, but we can't even get the fireworks to work. Jeez, malfunction. There we go. There's the fireworks. Got the fireworks going off. Leave a thumbs up on this video. You can leave a super chat like Patrick, who leaves a super chat. Justified, this is arson chant. I don't think Tony Khan actually put that was a justified chant. Kind of cowardly that he didn't, if we're being honest. Like, he does the justified, this is awesome chant all the time. Like, probably should say it's justified, but what can you do? What can you do? Oh, gosh. Louis saying, can we spend 45 minutes on the great conference call? It was great. Lots of great information. So here's a behind the scenes tidbit for everybody. Riccacino messages me in the middle of this thing. And he's just like, how often do you question your life decisions during these? And I'm just like, every single one of them. and then, so Rick, I'll read this verbatim for everybody. So Rick goes, do you think Tony thinks it's a great time for AEW? My reply, great time for AEW. Great time in Chicago. Might be the best show ever. Right up there with Revolution, which featured Sting retirement match, one of the best moments and stories ever in AEW. Also up there with AEW All In, where Bryan Danielson won the AEW World title and one of the greatest moments in AEW history. It's so great having Bryan Danielson as the AEW World Champion. I look forward to seeing Bryan against Jack Perry. It's going to be a great match with a long history. Jack was in the ring when Bryan debuted 3 years ago at AEW All Out. One of the greatest moments in AEW history. Bryan Danielson debuting right after Adam Cole. It was such a great moment. And now, 3 years later, Bryan is the AEW World Champion. And he's been such a great wrestler for us. And I can't wait to see him against Jack Perry. It's going to be a great match on a night full of great matches. It's going to be an amazing night. It's going to be one of the best cards in AEW history. And Chicago is such a great home for AEW. Thank you. That was my reply to Riccacino. Word for word. You don't know if I transcribed that from Tony, or if I just did all that off the top of my head.
Off the
Because
top of the dome.
that's how close it really is.
I just need Tony to like sit down with Mark Briscoe and learn about his words of the day, so he has different things to say, like different synonyms of great. At least if he would use different synonyms of great, he wouldn't just say great that many times during these conference calls. I would hope. Or just let Mark Briscoe do the conference call. I think that would be entertaining. I don't even get an invite for these conference calls anymore, and I'm not complaining. I have not complained, not a once. I haven't reached out to AEW PR and media and be like, "Hey guys, you don't invite me to these conference calls anymore," because I was like, I don't see the point. They usually send me the little audio for the conference call, and I'll put it up for our Patreon backers at True Hill Heat, patreon.com/True Hill Heat, cheap plug. But that's all I will do, because I don't see the point of me actually like listening in on a 45-minute conference call where Tony's not going to answer any real questions most of the time, or he's just going to go around it and just say everything's great, even when it's not.
I'm not trying to bury anybody. And as I say that, I'm going to bury people.
Exactly. Usually when people say, with all due respect, or I'm not trying to, it usually leads to them doing what they said they're not trying to.
So I'm not going to bury anybody. But the questions asked on these media calls are just, they're not great. Tony says they're great questions. I pre-wrote Tony's no comment about the lawsuit, which is, I mean, let's be honest about this lawsuit. It is.
It's a bigger joke than the conference call.
So I pre-wrote his no comment about this lawsuit, because I'm like, certainly, someone's going to ask about this lawsuit. This is all anybody was talking about on Wednesday before the show. This was it. Not a single question about this lawsuit. Not a single question. And look, Tony might have just given a no comment, and maybe that's why no one asked. But like we always say, you got to ask the question. You just got to. Just ask Tony, hey, what's up with this lawsuit? Because sometimes Tony can be in a surly mood and he might give you a little bit more, and it's hilarious. But you don't know if you don't ask. And nobody asked. Instead, it was, tell us how great this card is. Tell us how great AEW's been for the last 5 years. We get it. The only thing that was like really worthy to come out of this press conference media call was the Powerhouse Hobbs update, which was not much of an update, unfortunately. He's still kind of getting checked by the doctors, and who knows when he's going to return. But everything else was just nothing. Just nothing on these media calls. I appreciate that Tony does them. I know he likes doing them. I know they're sort of real sports feel for him, and he likes to take all the questions. It's just, man, can we do a little bit better? That's all.
I appreciate that. I mean, I wish they would too, but it is what it is. We're at the point where these are kind of superfluous in a way, of just Tony just basically kind of just doing it for the fun of it, for the love of the game, basically, for Tony Khan. This is what the media scrum, the conference calls, this is for the love of the game that he enjoys, outside of booking and, being creative with storylines, or if you want to call it that, being creative. But I mean, I will say I was happy to hear that he fought very hard to keep Hangman Adam Page out of jail, and at least there was an explanation of why he hid. The only bars or chain link he's going to be behind is the steel cage coming up on Saturday.
Let's talk about this closing angle and how Hangman Page burned down a man's house. Tony Khan had to keep him out of jail. He said that's what he worked with, or that's what he was working on all Wednesday night and Thursday morning. Didn't seem like the police were in any rush to show up. Hangman had himself a nice glass of whiskey while the house just burned. He might have poured a couple of glasses. Like, we didn't hear of any police reports or anything. So despite this airing on television, they kept it kind of hush hush. I'd like to know who made this decision to air it on TV. I feel like that was not up on the up and up end protocol
I
there.
agree.
I feel like AEW, they won't sanction this street fight, this cage match. Apologies, they won't sanction this cage match, but they'll air a man burning down another man's house. Like, that's completely fine. I don't know. I got some questions coming out of this when it comes to Hangman and how he was able to get away with this. Do you think Nana was in on this inside job? Nana helped Swerve secure the home. Hangman said almost a year ago, Nana doesn't really care about you. He's too busy buying weed from high school kids in the parking lot. Now he talks Swerve into buying this house just so Hangman can burn it down. I'm thinking this is an inside job from Prince Nana. That's my theory.
I think the only kind of credence you have to that is I don't think the amount of money that Swerve got as a bonus was the same amount as the house. I think that Nana probably skimmed some off of the top to buy some weed and didn't get a security system for the house because there was no alarms when Hangman Adam Page goes into the house, or apparently Swerve doesn't lock his doors. You would think he would lock his doors after how easy he got into Hangman's house a year ago. You would think that he would buy some locks, buy a security system. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? This man belongs in jail. I think that Nana is loyal. He is almost loyal to a fault sometimes, but I think he's still loyal to Swerve Strickland. I wanna know if our very honorary or honorable EVPs, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, had anything to do with the airing of this video, because this video, it was via satellite from Tacoma or wherever it was, wherever the house was located. It was via satellite. Like, why would Tony Khan air that unless the EVPs were behind this? And this is a further kind of jocking up position, a position of power of the EVPs, airing a video from their former friend and avoiding any lawsuits, any arson claims. Like, Hangman Adam Page should be in jail for at least 14 years for arson. And then those sickos in Milwaukee chanting this is arson?
Fair.
Like one, you have no sympathy for Swerve Strickland having to see his childhood home go up in flames. Two, you guys are all snitches because, like, why are we saying it? I don't see some. I grew up in New York. I grew up in Harlem. You see, if I see somebody getting robbed, I'm like, this is robbery. This is robbery. You either call the cops or you keep it moving. You don't say nothing. You don't say nothing usually. That's the way. That's the number one option. You just keep it moving. I ain't seen nothing. I'm not involved in this. I'm going to keep it moving. If it's someone that you care about and love, if you love Swerve Strickland, if you're a fan of him, if you're doing this, when you hear Swerve when you drive, you should have called the police and say, this is arson. This is arson. You should have been on the phone. What is wrong with y'all, Milwaukee? I know Damian Lillard and Giannis were injured in the playoffs. I know your pride and your dignity is injured, but have some remorse for someone seeing their childhood home burned down in flames.
Well, we know wrestling fans just in general. This has nothing to do with Milwaukee. I mean, Milwaukee, look, they ain't got a whole lot to cheer for. They're just happy something was happening, They're like, wait a second. A fire not caused by Doc Rivers? Hell yeah! Let's go. This is great. Let's go. Pop myself about that.
Very nice. Yes, you popped me as well, because I finished clips, and I know that Doc Rivers has been a part of a lot of different fires, even some that he didn't start himself. So
So wrestling fans are fickle anyway. You were there at All In SP3, the whole crowd chanting final countdown, Bryan Danielson, let's go. And then Swerve comes out, and here we go. Let's all dance with Swerve. And whose house? Swerve's house. It's like, wait a second. Are you guys rooting for Bryan Danielson? Are you rooting for Bryan Danielson to retire? You got to make up your mind. These fans don't know what they want. So they see a man breaking and entering a man's house and putting a shirt on a kid, like, hey, that was pretty cool. And that man burns down his house. Okay, that's pretty cool too. They don't know. They're just cheering. They're just Pavlov's dogs responses out here from wrestling fans of like something cool is happening. Let's cheer. Let's cheer for it. You got to have some morals and integrity as a wrestling fan. That's the biggest lie I've ever told.
It's okay. It's okay. But no, what an angle it was. I wanted to ask you. I asked this question to a couple of different people over the last 2 days. Where does this rank as far as we'll start with this year as far as show closing angles for AEW and then wrestling overall, like weekly TV shows? Where does this rank as far as like show closing angles? I really have it between the three, like in AEW, I think it's really between this and the Mariah May heel turn on Timeless Tony Storm. And then in wrestling in general, I think you can also bring into the question Rock beating up Cody in the Rain, which I'm sorry for AEW fans. That's still my number one. That's my favorite show closing angle of the year so far. Mama Rose, look at your boy now. Look at your boy. He turned Samoan. This man Rock been borderline in between sometimes black, sometimes Hollywood. He don't even have a race. He just got Hollywood or sometimes black, and then he turned full Samoan in the Rain in Chicago on Cody Rhodes. That's my favorite show closing angle of the year. The Wyatt 6 debut from June. And then these two from AEW, the Timeless Tony Storm being turned on by Mariah May and Hangman Adam Page setting fire. I think Hangman Adam Page is number one for AEW and number two overall in wrestling behind Cody and Rock in the Ring.
I don't disagree with any of those segments. I'll throw a couple more. Big Man Dogs is a good one of Paul Heyman. You're not my tribal chief. Being put through the table. That was good.
That's top five. I would put that I would put that ahead of the Wyatt 6 debut.
I'll throw Sting coming down from the rafters one last time in there. Darby with the flamethrower is, if he would have set somebody on fire though, he waited until the pay-per-view to do that. He needed to like actually set somebody on fire.
I would say for AEW, they've had really, really strong year as far as go home closing angles before pay-per-views. Because you had Sting coming down from the Raptors before before Revolution. You had the swerve stomp on the whole security gang, and then he lands on his feet like a superhero against Joe before Dynasty. Darby with the flamethrower before Double or Nothing. Swerve getting back at Will for Will stealing his title a second time, and he just kicks him right in the head before Forbidden Door. And then this one, and then Bryan's promo in Cardiff before All In. Like, they have smashed it out the park with show closing angles before pay-per-views this year.
Yeah, it used to be they just did a big multi-man schmoz brawl. That was their show closing angle for every show or for every pay-per-view during the early days. They've gotten a lot better when it comes to go home closing segments for pay-per-views. Yeah, you mentioned kind of all the top ones from AEW. The WWE ones that stand out, definitely The Rock beating up Cody in the Rain, which is, that's still probably tops for me because it was so almost jarring. One, we don't see a lot of blood in WWE, and that was a very clear use of it, not like an accidental use like sometimes that'll happen. And like just the Rain, the effect, like the Rock just smack talking ruled.
Look at you now, boy, Mama Rose. I'm sorry.
Look at you now.
It's in my head. Like it has lived rent-free in my head 6 months later. It's just in my head of how visceral. Like, I think it's like top 5, maybe all-time Raw endings to a show for me.
You mentioned the Wyatt 6. That was a really good angle. Chad Gable being dead, but not fully dead. The SmackDown closing with Paul Heyman getting taken out. I feel like there's some we might be missing from WWE.
Jacob Fatu's debut.
Jacob
That was
Fatu's
a
debut
great
is good.
that was a great
Yeah.
one. I'm trying to think of just for now, just WWE. Those would be like the main ones. The other ones from AEW, the Elite beating down Tony Khan, because I'm sorry, that was just all time funny. That was just funny. It was. I don't even know if it was impactful, but it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
That one almost gets hurt from the follow-up of it.
I
Like,
mean,
it
the
was
the follow
great.
up was not the best, but in the moment, it was up there for me.
Yeah, in the moment, it was really good.
MJF turning on Garcia, I thought that was really great as well. It did get topped the following week with Mariah May
Yeah.
turning on Timeless Tony Storm, but I think that's up there for AEW. But man, it's been a really good year overall for the top two companies when it comes to like show closing angles.
I think it's been a good year overall just for the top two companies in general. Like, certainly for show closing angles, but like both companies feel really strong right now. I know people might get mad at that, but I think both companies are in a good position. There's obviously things that they can both improve upon, but yeah, like we just recounted what 10 to 15 like show closing angles from both companies that were like, this was compelling television. This was really good television. What they did. So no, Edge debut was last year. That
Last
was
year.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
Wrestle Dream. That was a pay-per-view.
Yeah, and that was a pay-per-view. Yeah, we're talking about weekly TV shows, but yeah, I agree. I agree with you as far as like creative. I think both companies are in great. I mean, WWE. It's obvious they're in great shape. They're hotter than ever. They're still going. They're still going up. They're still ticking up. You would think that they would just go on cruise control and just stay up here, but they're still going up. Like they're going. They're like Icarus. They're going too close to the sun, and they're gonna blast through the sun and go up into a different freaking universe that we haven't discovered yet as far as like business wise and how that's translated with the great product that they're putting out on TV and on premium live events. AEW haven't got that numbers because they're a clear number two, but as far as what the product is, I mean, AEW Dynamite most weeks is my favorite weekly TV show, and just like the different storylines like the Hangman Adam Page and Swerve, the Timeless Tony Storm Mariah May angle, MJF and Will Ospreay was great. I think MJF and Daniel Garcia are doing good work right now. The first month of the Elite angle was really great. It just fell apart after that, and we can criticize that to the moon, but we can't deny that first month was really good stuff that they were producing. I think the Elite from their return in January all the way through Double or Nothing had a nice little arc with the Young Bucks, return, and that beat down. Another great one, the beat down on Sting and Darby after they won the tag team titles when they beat down Sting's kids as well. That was a great show closing angle for them as well.
Since we're talking about show closing angles, I know it wasn't this year, but we're also talking about the last SmackDown on Fox, one of the greatest show closing angles of all time. So when Kane Velasquez appeared.
I think the In the Weeds general manager may have said that is literally like when people talk about the SmackDown era, that is the one thing that I freaking yes the In the Weeds general manager said, and I quote, Fox SmackDown will be remembered for the bullshit first episode 3-second world title matchup. And that is literally when I said that during the intro, that was the first thing I thought of. It was the first episode in 2019. 9 seconds, Brock Lesnar beating Kofi Kingston. The setup, Kane Velasquez and Brock Lesnar at Crown Jewel. No one remembers that match.
I do. Brock got his win back. Brock got his win back from the UFC fight.
How did he do it?
I think he submitted him. I don't actually remember.
Exactly. You remember the result because you had to write up the result, but you don't remember.
I probably wrote the article on like how it happened. I just legitimately do not remember. I just defeated him. 2 minutes. He beat Kane quicker than Kane beat him in the UFC fight.
Oh my god! Like, why did they do that? I think that that just basically was the setup for what, like, it. I guess in Fox's eyes was a not up to their expectations run of SmackDown on Fox. Even though the last year they've been very successful with the ratings going up and the bloodline angle kind of motivating kind of it to become the top rated wrestling show in all of television.
Cain Velasquez appearing in the closing segment was the most hilarious thing. I remember watching this, and one, I was super pissed about the way Kofi lost. It's like, wait, what? Huh? Like, I expected Brock to win just because you figured it was going to happen. I was just like, why did you do that? And then to do that to set up Cain Velasquez coming in. Kane had that hype coming off the AAA match. It's like, oh, Kane can like kind of work a little bit. Okay. And then he just comes in just to lose to Brock Lesnar in 2 minutes in Saudi. Amazing. Amazing.
Amazing foresight by by Vince McMahon. Why? Why? Oh man, that yeah, that's gonna be like, especially the first like year or so. I do remember the Rock, Becky Lynch, and Baron Corbin, the first segment on Fox. That was a memorable thing from that first episode. We had most of like the pandemic era, which was mostly, you could just sum up pandemic era WWE into, or the start of the bloodline angle and the golden role models, Bayley and Sasha Banks. Their run on SmackDown was fun.
King Potato, what about the explosive debut of Tito Ortiz and Impact? Nobody forgets August 1st warning. Are you kidding me?
When he showed up and they were like hyping it up, like, oh man, this is gonna be a big, big introduction of someone, a big debut. Tito Ortiz.
No,
former special guest referee for AJ Styles versus Jeff Jarrett at Hard to Kill. No, Hard Justice, 2005, I think.
Yeah, nobody forgets August 1st warning. It's one of the greatest hype jobs in TNA history. Amazing. What else has happened in the SmackDown era? The pandemic feels like such a blur.
Yeah.
Of just everything. Like the lead up to WrestleMania with like John Cena and Bray. I remember that and those segments. And then otherwise,
the one where Cena was in the ring and all the characters from the Fun House were in the
yeah,
crowd. Oh my god, that's an all-time bad. Oh, Roman Reigns dog food. The
dog food,
Roman Reigns
shit, that was on Fox.
Feuding with Baron Corbin. Yeah, that was a bad memory.
Yeah, that's awful. Not great. And we got some good stuff, but largely once the crowds returned and we got Cena and Roman feud once they were back touring again, and then just bloodline stuff in general once Sammy got involved. I mean, that was Usi. We got Usi on SmackDown. So we got some good stuff on SmackDown once crowds came back and everything. The Rolling Loud match. Bianca and
Carmella.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. It felt very vibrant, like the summer of 2021, because once again with both companies going back on the road, and especially those first few SmackDowns, man, they were like loud and vocal, and it kind of led into like this hot period that WWE is on right now, because they were like breaking records as soon as they went back on the road, even back then in 2021, and it had a nice run of, you had, Cena return on that first Money in the Bank, the first pay-per-view in front of fans. And then that led into the whole summer of Roman and Cena going into SummerSlam. And then SummerSlam had the Brock Lesnar return. And then you had the Paul Heyman in the middle, the love triangle of Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns, and Brock Lesnar, which was better than people remember it until Roman got sick at the beginning of 2022. And then that just shook everything up, and then they had Brock win the WWE championship and stuff like that. And it led to a little bit of a down period in the Bloodline saga until like after WrestleMania when Sammy was introduced into that whole thing. But in the lead up to WrestleMania, you also had the Sammy and Johnny Knoxville rivalry, which was that I still to this day I tell people the best build to WrestleMania 38 was Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn. That was the most
one of the greatest matches of all time.
No, I'm talking about the build.
Yeah, the build was great, but like the match
tend to only but what I'm saying, people tend to only talk about the match. The build-up was the best of any other matchup because you had, Cody and Seth was one of the best matchups of that weekend, but that was just Seth talking to Vince in his office and laughing and all that nonsense, and Seth losing 101 times to pretty much everyone. Kevin Owens and Steve Austin, that was just like patchwork build up to that matchup. Brock and Roman, no one wanted to really see that at WrestleMania, let alone when we got it later in the year at SummerSlam. And even though SummerSlam was the better matchup of the two, but the build up, nobody wanted to see. Becky and Bianca was over on Raw. That was a pretty good build-up. But to me, the best build-up going into WrestleMania 38 was Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn.
I mean, the build-up was great. And bless Johnny Knoxville for committing to all that. Bless Sami Zayn for committing to everything as well. And look, the match is still one of the greatest matches of all time. I'll hear no different. I will hear no different. One of the greatest matches ever. Can't convince me otherwise.
It was a great comedy match.
A great match. Wait, why is it a comedy match?
It was comedy.
All matches are comedy.
Not all matches. So, where was the comedy in Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Adam Page?
When he drank his blood, I thought that shit was hilarious. You
like blood. You telling the people a lot. You're telling the people a lot that you laughing at blood drinking.
Yeah. I was like, look at this dude. He's insane. He's out here drinking blood. That seems unnecessary, but sure.
that is the better reaction. That seems unnecessary.
Yeah. It's funny to me.
Hey, we man body slamming Sami Zayn is up there with Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant. Better than Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant.
I find comedy in most wrestling. Wrestling in general is just funny, Like,
I mean, I guess.
What's the point? Like, it's not serious. What are we talking about? Not serious at all. It's much better. Much better. What was Cinema and Reg hated it? Reg loves the Jackass match. Unless he's trolling.
I think he's trolling. He's trolling you.
I don't think he's trolling me.
Nah, he loves Sami Zayn. He loves Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Yeah.
I think he genuinely loves it. Oh, I'm gonna be really disappointed if I find out Reg doesn't like the Jackass match.
Oh man, that's hilarious. I mean, I enjoy it. I think it's top 3 or 4 from WrestleMania 38. Top 3 or 4.
Top 1 from WrestleMania all time.
Wouldn't go that far, but the greatest comedy match in WrestleMania history.
The greatest match in WrestleMania history.
Greatest comedy match. I agree.
What matches are better?
all the ones that are actual wrestling matches and not just someone getting slapped by.
Why is this not a wrestling match? Yeah, that shit ruled. I cackled.
A match that doesn't involve a giant mousetrap. Those matches.
That was great. That was great improvisation. I could speak. Johnny Knoxville improvised very well.
Alexa Bliss Gamer got the real question. What was better, Firefly Funhouse or the Jackass match?
The Jackass match is better though, because it took place in front of fans. The Funhouse match was great for what it needed to be in the cinematic, universe, but like matches in front of crowds are just better.
Yeah, that's true. And the
And the
crowd ate
giant
that up.
hand smacking Sami Zayn, that was great. That was one of the best spots of all time. Second only to Wee Man slamming Sami Zayn.
Wee Man slamming every day, and it will always pop me. It was always pop me. I think I've only watched the Jackass match back one time after
Wow.
watching.
I watch it every year before WrestleMania. I do my WrestleMania rewatch, and it's just rewatching that match.
10 times.
Yeah.
10 times every year. 10 times every year. Still haven't
That
watched
match
it.
rules.
I've watched
so
it back
much.
once. Just once.
Oh, it's so good. So good. I can't respect anybody who doesn't like that match, honestly.
I do like it.
I know.
Respect it, but I wouldn't put it as my greatest WrestleMania match of all time.
Oh, you have a different taste than I do. It's fair.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
I think Cody and Roman this year is one of the greatest WrestleMania.
That match sucked.
So one of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time.
How did that end?
I felt like I booked it.
How did that end?
Roman chose revenge for a 10-year long fixation on Seth Rollins betraying him over getting the job done and beating Cody Rhodes, which led to Cody hitting 3 crossroads to become the undisputed WWE champion.
I turned it off after Roman hit the crossroads and Cody kicked out, and Roman's like, "That move sucks."
That move sucks. That move never worked. Yo, there's so many great moments in that matchup, but that is up there for that move sucked. That ain't never beaten nobody.
Yeah, I turned it off after that. I was like, well, it peaked right here. No sense in watching the rest of this match. Doesn't get any better than this.
Oh, I loved every second of it. When Jimmy Uso comes out and Jay Uso comes out and they do the little spot, and that one little spot was better than their whole entire matchup the night prior. I was at 4 3/4 by that point. And then Solo comes in, and then Cena comes out and does the FU, and then The Rock comes out. I was like, 5 stars. All right, that's it. I've seen enough. Call the game. This is 5 stars. Cena and Rock having a stare down, better than their WrestleMania 29 matchup. That was my first ever WrestleMania that I went to, and I just remember them pantomiming and doing multiple versions of their finishers for like 30 minutes. That's my nephew who at the time I think was like 10, 11 years old. He's going wild and crazy. I'm just like, are they freaking serious? This is not as good as last year.
Wow, what are you hating? You're hating on children here.
No. I was fine with him. I was like, go crazy. But I'm just like, I'm talking to the performers. I'm like, this is not as good as what y'all did last year.
Well, didn't Rock like break every bone in his body like 2 minutes into that match?
I think so. I remember it more that WrestleMania 29 main event for I think it was WWE, either WWE 2K14 or WWE 14, when you had the road to the WrestleMania mode and you did all the matches, and that last matchup was that freaking Rock and Cena matchup, and you literally, it's like the hardest board of any mode WWE's ever created, because you have to hit like 400 AAs and 400 rock bottoms in the matchup. That is just like, oh god, I'm just trying to beat this game so I can stop playing it for a while. So annoying.
I assume you probably had to like unlock like beating it unlocks a bunch of stuff too, so that's why you want to complete it so you can unlock, I don't know, a $500 Rock shirt or whatever it is.
Know? And no, Valaby, this is not the nephew that's dating Kyrie's sister. That nephew was a big Kane fan when we were growing up. He was a Kane fan, and then his older brother was an Undertaker fan, which was funny to me. I was like, so which one of you are going to set the other on fire?
Which one would you take? Kane first overall in a all-time fantasy draft?
I don't know if I would pick Kane 101 overall.
Really?
All-time fantasy draft.
Really? 101? You wouldn't take Kane?
I think I could name 101 wrestlers I would pick over Kane in an all-time fantasy draft.
All right, peak Kane. I'm gonna set aside his political views because he sucks. I'm gonna set aside that.
I mean, Pete Kane, you're talking about like Royal Rumble 2001 into like early 2003 Kane when he has no sleeves.
Yeah.
Or Kane when he first debuts before WrestleMania 14.
I guess it depends on, like, let's say you're running a WWE like company. Like, you're not running like an AEW like company where the best wrestle. You're running sports entertainment kind of company. Kane's not within the top 101.
Probably not.
Wow. All right, name 100 people you're picking out of Kane.
I'll pick Austin, Rock, Savage, Flair. I'll take Shawn Michaels, Bret the Hitman Hart, Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero, Expert Deleted. You know who that
What?
is. Expert Deleted. I can't say his name. It's not allowed to say his name, but it rhymes with Bis Padutz. I would take him. Yes. I would take him over Kane. We're disregarding what they do out. You said disregard what these people do outside of the ring. So
fair.
Sid Vicious. I'll take Sid Vicious. I'll take him.
Right, you're at 10.
I'll probably take some. There's multiple big men I would take over him. Yokozuna, Earthquake,
Earthquake.
Typhoon. Yes, I would take Earthquake.
Look, I'm not trying to disparage Earthquake, but like that man's got a shelf life on what he was going to be able to do. That's why he had 15 different gimmick changes.
Scott Hall, Kevin Nash. Man, I want to say Bret the Hitman Hart multiple times. Chris Jericho. Man, give me a Kenny Omega. They don't have to be in WWE, but you're saying if I'm running a WWE company, Kashiko Okada. I'll take Shinsuke Nakamura. Could have done more with him. If we could go to the current generation, we could go a Rhea Ripley, a Cody Rhodes, a Roman Reigns, a Sami Zayn, a Kevin Owens, man, Gunther, Randall, Keith Orton, Batista.
Kind of lost track of where we're at, but
Foley, Do Love, Cactus Jack.
You're only getting one.
Mankind.
You're only getting one on Foley. Just get Foley.
The Taskmaster. Man, sheesh. Dusty Rhodes, Dustin Rhodes, Goldust.
No, you don't get Goldust as well.
I wanted to see if you were going to count it.
I did.
I took see. My brain. You took it.
Took my brain a second to catch up to my fingers there.
$1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, Mr. Perfect, Texas Tornado. I'll take Kevin Von Erich. I'll take Fritz Von Erich. I'll take Fritz Von Erich. Gene Gagne, Vern Gagne.
Gene Gagne? Vern Gagne.
Vern Gagne. I'll take Nick Bockwinkel. I'll take J.J. Dillon. Give me Arn Anderson. Give me C.W. Anderson. Give me Tommy
Absolutely
Dreamer.
Not.
Give me Rob Van Dam.
Absolutely not. C.W. Anderson.
John Cena. The Undertaker. Shaquille O'Neal.
You lost me at C.W. Anderson.
Yo, C.W. Anderson? You talking about C.W. Anderson in ECW? Mr. Kennedy. Mr. Anderson. L.A. Knight.
All right, L.A. Knight's fair.
Ricky Starks.
Mr. Kennedy's like one of the... You want to talk about people that just like thought they had it but didn't have it? That's Mr. Kennedy.
He had a great character.
His character was saying his name twice. That's it.
Yes. At the time, he was different from everybody.
No.
He was great.
No, he wasn't.
He was great. He was great for his time.
People like to have rose-colored glasses with him because he never won the title when he maybe should have. I'm not going to deny how over he was. Like, he was. It's very much like how Steven Jensen doesn't like LA Knight. He's like, I don't get LA Knight, but like he's over. So I got to admit he's over. That's where I'm at with Mr. Kennedy. Like, I didn't get it. Wasn't for me. I can't deny that the people liked it.
He had a great theme song. He had a good look. He had good mic skills.
No, we did.
His character, yes, he did.
Name a good Mr. Kennedy promo.
The one where he's in the dark and he's talking about Undertaker before him and Undertaker first had, I think it was Armageddon in like
What did he
2007.
say?
Oh, come on. Now this? You want word for word now?
Yeah.
Like this?
If it was a good promo, you should have remembered it.
This is ridiculous. His theme song was all time. Look at do you like Mr. Kennedy?
Say no.
See?
Yeah, but she thinks she's British and she's not though. Like we can't really trust her.
Say hi, Jeremy.
Hi, Sherman. Look at Mum is angry, and he got that one.
She's still talking as she walks away. AJ Styles, John Moxley. I was gonna finish with that. Crash Holly, Shane McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, not that other guy, not their father. Linda, I'll take Linda McMahon before Kane.
What?
Greatest sell of a stunner I've ever seen in my life.
Linda McMahon.
It's time. It's Vader. Time. Vader was awesome.
Yeah.
He should have been WWF champion. I'm sorry, Sean.
Still one of the greatest moments ever where Shawn Michaels just fucking kicks him in the head for
move
an inch out of position.
Bam Bam Bigelow. Come on.
Bam Bam was great.
Charlotte Flair. Becky Lynch. Sasha Banks and Mercedes Moné. Bailey. Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, you've lost the people on Linda McMahon. You lost the chat on Linda McMahon.
Hey, I don't care if I lost big man dogs. This man loves trash wrestling, and he's gonna get mad at me picking Linda McMahon. Have you not seen how she sells a Stone Cold Stunner?
That's literally the only thing she's done.
Exactly. And she had a great theme song.
Wasn't that just a WrestleMania song?
That's why it was great.
You were close to 100 there. You did name a lot of people. I think you're being a little unfair to Kane with some of those picks. Like I get it. Like I also think that Kane, he should be a little bit praised for. I mean, he had the greatest match of all time against the Big Show in their chain wrestling.
Oh God, I knew. I was waiting. This is like he seems to save his damn matchup every time I'm on this show.
It's one of the best matches ever. Real technical wrestling. When Bret Hart returns to WWE this Monday on Calgary, he's gonna put on this Kane and Big Show match. And he's going to be like, what I accomplished in my career, my excellence of execution, best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. Nothing in comparison to what Kane and Big Show did.
Like
that was real technical wrestling.
Matt Classic in 5 minutes.
I wish we could show this footage. We'd get like kicked off. We'd get demonetized if we did. Oh, I wish... Could we show it in like 7-second clips? I feel like the clip of them like doing the chain wrestling is pretty short.
I think you could show it, but we would have to like talk over it and pause it a few times. Like that's how like, you know, a lot of people get away with like using certain clips, because if you're doing it in a way where you're like basically providing your own commentary and pausing it enough times, I think you're able to do it. Because I think that's what I don't know. It's been less than 24 hours, but me and Jimmy yesterday on A Ramble, we played.
Hold on. All
Uncle Ruckus theme song.
Wrestle Crap, who I don't agree with this session, but they have GIFs. I think I can just put the Wrestle Crap website up here, and we can just watch the GIFs, and I think we'd be okay.
There we go.
All right, here. Real pro wrestling here, everybody. I hope it shows. Is it up? Is it good? Look at this. Look at this.
Yep.
Look at this technical battle. Go behind by the Big Show. Waistlock takedown. Front. Look at the counter by Kane. And then to a standstill.
Guys, you would think that this is because this is like slowed down clips. No, this
front
is the actual
headlock
speed.
into a drop hold that makes...
This is the actual speed that they did this.
Drop toe hold that makes Sean Ross Sapp jealous into a front headlock and then into the standstill. Oh, look at the dance by the Big Show right there. He knows. He knows he did something special right there. Oh, a lock up. They're going to do the test of strength here.
Greco-Roman knuckle lock.
Hammer lock.
Great.
Look at the roll lock. Through on the hammer lock into the
sweep.
1, 2. Oh, kicks out at 2. Look at the reversal on the hammer lock that Kane did. Tell me this isn't real.
That's the actual speed.
Graphs. Oh, look at the drop to hold. Another one by Kane to get out of the hammer lock.
That's all he knew.
Look, he grabbed the wrist too. He held on to the wrist right there to maintain control. Oh, the drop toe hold by Kane into the corner. Not quite as good as Big Show's drop toe hold, but great use of Big Show's momentum against him with that drop toe hold.
Kane was kind of like a kid who tripped someone who's running at them.
The mask has come on the screen now.
Yeah, this is May 19, Kane.
And it blinded Kane. Not only did we get a technical masterpiece, we got real sports entertainment in this technical masterpiece of a match here.
This was May 19th, was the angle to promote Kane and See No Evil that introduced Luke Gallows as the mass version of Kane and set up a very bad matchup between the real Kane and fake Kane at Vengeance in 2006.
Look at the Big Show's footwork right there.
Yo, Big Show was an underrated sports entertainer. Like, can we go over that?
He ruled. He was in the Thong Song, SB3.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes! This man is like legend on multiple accounts. Like, I had to criticize him on ROH yesterday because he didn't call Beef and Anthony Henry by their tag team name, which is officially Ground Beef, because Anthony Henry does ground technical work and he's teaming up with Beef. So Ground Beef is their tag team name. He tried to call them the Workhorsemen. So he made a mistake there, but he has not made a mistake in the ring. This man is an all-time sports entertainer, even back from his days in WCW when he was smoking a cigarette and he did not care and he got fat in the NWO.
Ruled.
He ruled. He always ruled.
He was in part of one of the greatest battles in wrestling history, the monster truck battle. With the man fell off of a building and returned to win the world title that same night. Who else has done that?
Legend. And he gave us the greatest hug in professional wrestling history. Him and the Yeti. It's the Yeti! It's the Yeti! Him and the Yeti hugging Hulk Hogan into submission and making him pass out before he won the WCW Heavyweight Championship on one of the worst / greatest shows of all time, Halloween Havoc 1995.
I cried as a kid after that show. I was so distraught that Hulk Hogan lost the world title. I had to go to school the next day, and I was like, Mom, I can't go to school. Hulk Hogan lost.
He really used to be like that as a kid. Like when your favorite loss. Like your favorite loss, that really hit you. That really hit you.
It does. It did. It did. You know, now I don't care enough about wrestling to where if my favorite loses, I'm like, that's unfortunate. Anyway, what kind of chaos is going to come out of this?
I think the only time it really would have affected me if Brian would have lost that All In with me in the third row.
See, I thought so, but then I tried to Chaos Demon book Christian just winning the title. Like after Brian beat Swerve, so
I think that would have made me actually feel better because Christian is in my top 5 all time. I love Christian. I've always been a big Christian fan. I used to call myself Captain Charisma in my
I got the That's How I Roll shirt.
I did too. I did
Love that
too.
show.
I
It's
had
in
the
my
that.
closet still. It still fits because I haven't grown at all.
I was big into Christian. I will tell you the moment where I was like, okay, yeah, Christian is in my top 5 all time. Is when he did the rap against John Cena at Royal Rumble 2005. I was like, no, this guy's got it. Why don't they push him more?
Yeah, that's my thoughts on Adam Copeland. When people say Adam Copeland's better than Christian, I'm just like, Give him the gas, give him the gas face. Correctly, by the way.
Yes.
Correctly.
Yo, he was putting in work. Like before the NWO angle started, he was actual dominant WCW heavyweight champion.
Big Show does rule. He's making media rounds. I want him on this show, but I just want to talk about this Kane match. I don't care about anything else. And maybe this monster truck battle, but he's spoken about that a number of times. So like, there's not too much new information on that.
I want to talk about him smoking a cigarette and
that was good
when he was with the NWO, and like what was the creative pitches to how many times he joined the NWO, left the NWO, and then rejoined the NWO. This man is the only person who got kicked out of the NWO only to join back with them and then get kicked out again.
I want him on this show to talk about this Kane match. I don't feel like enough people talk about this. It's not. It should be up there. It should be the Big Show show. I reviewed that. What a.
I actually enjoyed the Big Show show.
That wasn't
I was
bad.
like, this wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
I want to talk about the Kane match. More people need to study this match. I don't know why this match isn't played over and over at the Performance Center of like, this is real wrestling right here. This is what you need to learn. It's cool that you can do all these flips and everything. Look at these two men. They don't have to do any of this. And they're putting on this technical masterpiece for you. This is how you teach the next generation. You don't need to go to the top rope. You don't need to do a bunch of springboard moves. Learn the technique like the Big Show and Kane did.
I want to know who pitched him having the secret main event of WrestleMania 36. Who pitched that? Who pitched that? And what was that day like being there? Being there for like, what was it, like 12 hours at the Performance Center to film both nights of WrestleMania, and then they tell you, oh yeah, we need you to do this matchup. It's the secret main event of WrestleMania 36.
I just want to talk about this Big Show and Kane match. That's it. We're gonna get demonetized from showing GIFs. It's gonna suck, but
No, you just splice it in. You pre-record the interview and then you play it and with the splicing clips of him and Kane.
I mean, we could probably just show the GIFs again if we ever have the Big Show on this show.
Yeah. If you got him live on this show, yeah, just play the wrestling.
Can you imagine if he was actually on this show? God,
that would be wonderful. Well, I think we've talked enough about the magical wrestling.
I don't think we could ever talk enough about the Big Show and Kane and their Matt Classic. Are you kidding me?
I am sick of you and how much you enjoy this. How much you enjoy this matchup is just so weird to me.
Why?
So weird to me. Because Big Show had a better Matt Classic with Braun Strowman in 2017. When him and Braun were doing kip-ups? Come on,
that was good.
He was in his late 40s doing kip-ups.
It wasn't good as this Kane match, but it was good. I did like that. Why would that shock you? My favorite match of all time is the triple cage match, the Doomsday Cage match.
Which one?
What do you mean which one? There's only one Doomsday Cage match.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the triple cage from Ready to Rumble, the David Arquette.
I did like that match, but that's not the
Diamond
Doomsday
Dallas Page
match.
Versus Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, that's not the Doomsday Cage match. The Doomsday Cage match is Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage against the Alliance to end Hulkamania.
The better Triple Cage match was Jimmy King versus Diamond Dallas Page.
I love that movie. Like,
I go. If we really want to take this off the rails, we can do this whole rest of the show talking about Ready to Rumble. I love Ready to Rumble weirdly too much, probably too much. Like I still quote it to this day. What would King do?
Shout out to the GOAT Andrew Thompson, who bought me a Jimmy King shirt for my birthday a couple years ago. I think that was his gift to me 2 years ago, if I remember correctly. I love that movie. Jimmy King is the best wrestler. He's the best wrestler. Better than all the wrestlers.
He's got class.
That ass. Jimmy. King.
Jimmy.
Still working on the last part. I used to not only know that like whole movie, I used to know the DVD commentary of that movie. That's how often I watched it. David Arquette and Scott Cannon just doing DVD commentary on it. I used to know the whole thing.
There's just way too many songs that are quotable and from that song when they're in the car, the van with the nuns.
The farting nuns.
Running with the devil. I live my life like there's no tomorrow.
All my life I had to steal. She stole.
She stole.
They got the Shermanator in that movie as well.
Yes. Playing on the video game.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, you're a Jimmy King fan? We need help.
I'm gonna be a while. Me and King don't lose. Ryan Lambert. Shout out to Big Show and Drew right after WrestleMania ended.
You guys know the secret main event of WrestleMania 36.
Yeah. It wasn't even. I mean, it was a secret, but then wasn't.
It got revealed. It got revealed a day later. I totally forgot what we were even supposed to be discussing.
Oh, who cares? Apparently, there's a big AEW pay-per-view this weekend, but it's not going to have a match as good as Big Show and Kane, so who could possibly care?
Hey, I don't know. Chris Jericho hasn't been announced for a match yet. So.
Ooh, you think? What do you think Jericho's going to do on this pay-per-view? You think he's on it? I feel like he's got.
I think they are running with the tradition of All Out being the one AEW pay-per-view that doesn't have a Jericho match, because last year's All Out didn't have a Jericho match. Well, to be fair, even though I love to troll about Chris Jericho, he has had the worst match objectively of every AEW pay-per-view this year for me.
Jericho and Hook, the worst match at All In.
Even despite what both women think, that is worse than Britt Baker and Mercedes Moné.
Are we counting pre-show matches? Because like some of those pre-show matches, they were just kind of there. At least Jericho and Hook was like fun.
To be fair, I only showed up like towards the beginning.
Wow, fake fan.
Of Stokely.
Fake fan didn't show up to 0 hour.
Of Stokely and Chris Statlander versus Willow and Tomohiro Ishii, because I didn't expect that freaking 16-man tag. Why would they have a 16-man tag? They just threw out everybody else that was backstage, and it was like, go out, have a match to start.
You had to get multiple Wolverines on that show.
They didn't even advertise that. No, I'm not even talking about the 5-on-5 with Gates of Agony and who did they team up with? Was it Gates and Agony Undisputed Kingdom versus the Texas Boys? And
right. I forgot there was multiple 19-man tag team matches on this All In.
Yeah.
All right, I'm looking at Chris Jericho. Oh, okay. Was Hook, Shibata, and Joe against the Learning Tree at Forbidden Door worse than Naito and Moxley?
Ooh, okay, that you got me. I don't care what y'all say. Britt and Mercedes was better than Jericho and Hook because Jericho sang. Jericho sang, so
Oh,
that
fair.
automatically makes him the worst match on the show.
I respect
Y'all can think however you want. That was objectively the worst because everyone left. Everyone, at least with Britt and Mercedes, they sat in their chairs silently and watched the matchup. But with Jericho and Hook, they left because they saw he was singing. But at Forbidden Door, you may have a point because Nights Out and Moxley was really bad. Was really bad.
Okay. And then my other one is I don't think you can objectively say Jericho had the worst match at AEW Revolution because I know for a fact you were not sitting for this Jericho match and you did not watch it live. Maybe you watched it on replay, but I know for a fact you were not in your seat watching this match at Revolution.
I've been to 2 AEW pay-per-views this year, and both times when Jericho was coming on, I left my seat with multiple people, with a sea of people. Like the line at the bathroom was longer during Jericho's matchup at All In than it was before the show started. Before the show started. Like, and then it was the same thing at Revolution. I saw all my friends at the concession at Revolution. Everybody was at the concession. The concession stand had a sellout in comparison to people in their seats at Revolution.
Vala, the 91st anniversary show is September 13th. It has no impact on Jericho potentially being at All Out because Willow's on that show as well, and she will obviously be wrestling.
Orange Cassidy is on that show as well, and he's going to be probably at All Out.
Wow, no faith in Brian Keith beating Orange Cassidy tonight on Collision.
I am totally sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I might be spoiling some stuff for all of you, but when they showed me the Continental Contenders Challenge matches, I was like, Orange Cassidy wins that one. Konosuke Takeshita wins that one. Mark Briscoe wins that one. That's the 4-way. I literally was telling people like that weren't even watching Dynamite. I was like, oh, they're doing Okada versus OC versus Briscoe versus Takeshita at All Out. They was like, oh, they announced that? I was like, not exactly.
Do you think we get us like who's your pick for an upset here? If you had to take an upset, who would it be?
Lance Archer over Mark Briscoe.
Yeah. That's right.
Because that would set up a Ring of Honor World Championship matchup. So that, logically speaking, would be the best one.
I'm with you on that, but it does seem like, oh wait, it's 3 guys who are on television weekly and like largely featured against 3 guys who lose every like featured match they're in. How's this one gonna go? Like, fine.
I was
I'm more
like,
mad.
If this is your big sell to make people watch this over SmackDown, you got to do something else. And then they announced that All-Star 8-man tag. And I was like, okay, fair enough.
I'm more mad at Claudio. I got my eye on gold. Tag team gold. Didn't you go to a time limit draw with Okada? Why are you not more pissed off about that and trying to get this rematch? Oh, so annoying. So annoying.
They just bypassed that. They haven't even really mentioned it like they could have here. But I mean, he should have said in the promo, he should have said, since I can't be in one of the Continental Contenders challenges, I'm going for the tag team titles with Wheeler Yuta because Dustin Rhodes did it in Ring of Honor. I'm going to do it in AEW. Win trios gold and then tag team gold.
Has Pac explained why he's like cool with Claudio and Yuta after walking out on them at Blood and Guts last year? Or has Claudio and Yuta explained why they're cool with Pac? Have we gotten this?
Hey, all I know is that they asked Bryan Danielson, what's Pac doing with BCC? What do you think about that? And what do you think about Jon Moxley and his all action since he returned? And he totally ignored the Jon Moxley part and said Pac would be a good fit. I think he fits in with the Blackpool Combat Club.
I hate the Blackpool Combat Club. I love everyone individually. I can't stand them as a group. They frustrate me.
They have no rhyme and reason. Like I literally was in debates with people from AEW last year when I was just like, it's very confusing that they're baby faces on one show and heels on another. I don't see this working out for them long term. And long term, it totally ruined the faction for a lot of people.
I like what John Moxley's kind of doing right now. I don't understand why Darby Allin's not showing up to work when like he typically never misses shows. Now all of a sudden he's not there for 2 straight weeks. What's going on? What's happening here with Darby? But
to be fair, he got put into a coffin. That thing broke him out.
He just got out after the match. He was fine. It's not like he stayed in the coffin. That would at least be an explanation. But we saw him get out and just be like, all right, cool. Thanks, Sting. It was okay. But where is he? Maybe
they should have had Sting. They should have had Sting like drag the coffin up the ramp at Wembley.
What else happened on Dynamite that you would like to talk about? Anything else really stand out to you?
I thought it had 2 great matches in the Fletcher versus Okada matchup. Fletcher has been winning people over. Our good friend Jimmy Macaram, who is a known Fletch hater. He actually liked Kyle Fletcher in this matchup because he actually made Okada go over a 7 in his give a fuck scale. So the fact that he
Okada made up for that in the post match brawl with Blackpool Combat Club. He was throwing those forearm strikes and just Okada was going back to New Japan Road 2 shows when they would do sometimes post match brawls. He's like, oh yeah, let's brawl around. Oh, there we go.
Bless him. Bless this man. He goes to the Kevin Nash school of getting checks and not that much effort. It's great. It's great stuff. I love it every time. But Fletcher actually made him care for a bit. So I really enjoyed that one. And I thought that the conglomeration in Ospreay versus Pac and the BCC was probably my favorite conglomeration tag team matchup of the year, mostly because of Ospreay and Pac going at it, but I thought everybody else played their roles very, very well. So yeah, it was a really strong go home show. I just need them to they need to explain that Nyla Rose has it in her contract that she gets a shot at every new AEW Women's World Championship.
So there was a good video package on Nyla kind of explaining things, but I'm with you of every time we see Nyla on Dynamite, she just loses. That's my beef with Kyle Fletcher too. I know Ishii on Collision to kind of set this up, but I'm like, wait a second. This man just lost to Ricochet last week. He beat Ishii, who also loses all of his major matches.
He's never won a singles match on AEW television.
I believe it. Fletcher hasn't won a singles match on Dynamite. We looked at that on Wednesday of how they've just positioned a lot of people as losers, and they got to do a better job of this, of not positioning so many people as losers. So if we look at Nyla Rose's Dynamite history, when do you think the last win on Dynamite was for Nyla Rose, SP3? The last win on Dynamite.
I'm going to just shoot a shot in the dark, and I'm going to say into the lead up of her versus Jade Cargill in 2022.
What month was that? I'm terrible with time.
I think that was Full Gear 2022, which Jade Cargill versus Nyla Rose.
Okay. You would be incorrect.
It's 2021, isn't it?
No, it is 2022.
Okay.
2022. You did have that part right. February 2nd, 2022. She beat Ruby Soho.
Wow.
That was her last win on Dynamite.
And what was that to set her up to lose to? Who was the women's champion in 2020? Oh, Britt Baker? Her to lose to Britt Baker for the women's championship?
Let's see. February 2022. And then she won a match in March. This is Dark Elevation, Battle of the Belts. It was to set up a loss at Battle of the Belts to Thunder Rosa.
Wow.
Yeah. That's where we're at. That's how far you got to go back to
It's ridiculous.
for the
It's
last
ridiculous.
Nyla Rose win on Dynamite.
See, why doesn't Tony take my good ideas? I know Tony will sometimes watch this show because he loved Jeremy. But so if he
I
is
did pop
watching this
Tony
show,
yesterday.
if he's watching this show, I hope he hears me out. I've been suggesting this for a full year now. Just put Nyla Rose in the Bang Bang Gang. I'm telling you, it's just going to be
Oh.
instant entertainment of Nyla Rose interacting with Juice Robinson every week.
I hope they do more of the female male faction blending. But we're seeing it with Marina and Moxley. I hope they we kind of see Mercedes interacting with the Elite. She's not like part of the Elite yet, but we're seeing some interactions, which is good. I would like that. That.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they have to keep on this track with Marina Shafir because I think that it's an instant hit for me because she just comes off as more of a badass than she ever has since coming to AEW. Her basically clearing the path of inconsequential people for Jon Moxley. And then the one moment that popped me the most, and Kate brought it up yesterday on the ROH review, when she pats Moxley on the chest and says, "No, I got this." And punches dude and just takes dude out. I was like, oh my god, this is working. This is working for me.
Will Chisholm says Pac is like, I'm with BCC because my friends are going to WWE. Fair. I wish they'd give some type of an explanation though. It doesn't take much either. Like I'm not asking for a 5-page book. That'd be a short book, but I'm not asking for a 5-page script here of why Pac and the BCC are united. Why Claudio and Yuta are cool with this. Literally just a line or two. Just be like, it can be as simple as we had our differences, but we settled it at ROH in a match that people may or may not remember. And it's been a year. As we respect your work. And Pac's like, yeah, I respect that you just want to kick the shit out of people. All right, cool. That's it. Not asking for much.
Because it's not even like the last 2 times we saw them in the ring together prior to them teaming up on the Collision before All In. It was Pac beating Claudio in the Owen Hart Cup. And then it looked like Pac wanted to show respect and Claudio walked away from him. And then it was them in the 4-way number 1 contenders match for the international championship with Kyle Fletcher and Tomohiro Ishii, where Pac won and there was no interaction between them. So
I'm a little upset you reminded me of the Owen Hart match where, Danielson was on commentary and Claudio was frustrated after losing and everything. They could play off of that. Honestly, Claudio should be looking at Pac a little sideways of man, they could just do so much more. They just could. Just little things they could pick up on and do a little bit more with. Overall, they're obviously doing some really good stuff, and I do like the product. People are going to try to cancel. You guys hate AEW, but little stuff goes a long way.
It does. It helps the cohesion and for people to be invested in stuff. There's some people that aren't invested in AEW right now because sometimes stuff just happens and then it doesn't matter after that. It just happens and you're just supposed to kind of accept it. Wherein if they told a more coherent story, even if it's just an online clip of Pac and Claudio talking to each other or something.
Can't do it on
I would accept that. I would accept that because then I can have a point of reference when someone says, "Hey, they never followed up on that." Well, actually, they showed it on their social media and they played it very quickly on Collision. I know you don't watch Collision, but they played it very quick because other than Hangman Adam Page, amazing promo. that he did after the Jay White matchup in the Owen Hart Cup that they still have not played on their actual television show. I'm still hard pressed on that. But other than that, usually if something gets over on social media, they will play it. If not on the next week's show, they will play it on Collision because they kind of have time for that on Collision, it seems. So
I'm cool if they do it on Collision, if they play it on Collision. You can't just leave it online. You can't do something like that and it's just like, well, check the online stuff. No. You gotta put this stuff on television, especially if it's like a 30-second clip. Put that on TV. I'll just leave that stuff to online. Cut 30 seconds off of a match. It'll be okay if we cut a dive off of a match. Everyone will move on with their life. We'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly,
doing this work right below me.
Honestly, with Dynamite, like I really enjoyed the trios match. I thought it was an awesome matchup. Like I said, everyone played their role very well. But they could have cut off 5 minutes of that and not done the overrun this week and got everything done because that match started with like 40 minutes left in the show. So they could have got everything in without using their overrun. I know they want to use their overrun, but if you follow the ratings, their overrun hasn't been doing what it originally was doing for them, where it would boost their rating a bit. It's been actually putting down their rating. The overrun did all right this week, but usually the last 2, 3, 4 months, the overrun has brought down the rating because the overrun's been doing below 600,000.
Well, the problem is no one's tuning into Modern Family afterwards. The draw's on at the beginning. The Big Bang Theory. They got to put Big Bang Theory on afterwards.
They got to book. Yeah, they got to bookend their shows with Big Bang Theory before it and then Big Bang Theory after.
Yeah, they got to get the Big Bang Theory on there, not Modern Family. No offense to Modern Family.
No, you know what they need to do? Big Bang Theory to start off, and then Young Sheldon. Because when they were doing good with the overrun, it was when Young Sheldon would be on after Dynamite.
Yeah, Young Sheldon. Sheldon Cooper is the real draw of AEW.
Book it. Sheldon
Sorry,
Cooper
Phil
versus MJF.
Sorry, Phil and Claire. You ain't bringing in the numbers, so you got to get off. We need to bring in the real draw, Sheldon Cooper.
I'm here. I'm here for all of this.
Maybe they go back to TNT King Pate after the NBA season and the TNT contract expires.
I can see that.
Because that's why
that might actually, he does make a good point. That might help their rating up a bit because TNT is the main flagship for Warner Brothers Discovery.
It's been on TBS for a while now, though. Like it's
2 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I can't use that excuse at this point. TNT would be probably better. Actually, I think the hockey games are on Wednesdays on TNT because basketball is usually Thursday TNT. So I think that would actually be the issue but maybe they shift hockey to Thursday because if they're going to lose the NBA, they'll have some spots open. It's very possible in the new deal where they're on the 1 yard line, but then they got a false start penalty, so on the 5 yard line. And they
dot their T's, cross their I's, put the other slash in the X.
We'll see. I was trying to use football references for Tony Khan because he's like, we're on the goal line. We're in the red zone. There was a holding penalty. We kind of got pushed back. Then we picked up a nice play on a little screen pass. We got back down to the 2. Now we're just trying to figure out the right call. We had to take a timeout. Then the 2-minute warning happened. And so now we're just trying to make sure we get the right play call in there to get it into the end zone. On first down, we unfortunately got stopped. We tried to just run a halfback dive, got stuffed at the line. So we had to take another timeout after that, stop the clock, make sure everything was aligned. They had to replay. You got to have a replay. You just have to. It doesn't even matter if nothing really happened. You got to have a replay. So we had a replay under review. That took a lot of time. So now we just got to make sure we have the right play call in. We're on the 2 yard line though. Everybody, we're on the 2 yard line. Got a delay of game, got pushed back. Now we're on the 7 yard line. So we're trying to punch it in from the 7 right now.
We got enough space. We can either run the ball or we could pass it. Got to make that.
Oh, we just ran an under route. We ran an under route, but unfortunately, we got tackled just short of the goal line. Now we're on the 4. We got 3 yard on the little under route. We had the guy open in the corner. Quarterback didn't see him. He was rushed. Had to make a quick throw on the under route. So that's why we only got 3 yards instead of the touchdown right there. We'll review the game film though. We'll go over this with Trevor. I'll use Trevor Lawrence. He's the Jaguars.
Things are going great. Things are going great though. Things are going great.
At some point, we'll get that touchdown. We're not going to settle for the field goal, everybody. Even if we go forward on 4th down, we will not settle for the field goal.
I've already exhausted the amount of times I could predict when they're going to announce this deal because they're just dragging this out.
They should announce it this week after Hangman and Swerve. We just see like a shot of Swerve or Hangman, whoever wins. They got the skewers sticking out. I assume there's going to be skewers. Let's just, the skewers are in their head. The tacks are on their back and everything. And
they should do it like TNA did the announcement of going back to TNA, where they do like a whole vignette. And it's like Hangman and Swerve are like all bloody and they're heading to like a river. And then Moxley goes into the river and it's a treasure chest. And then he opens the treasure chest and it says WBD. And it's a whole bunch of Dynamite and Collision highlights. And Tony Khan, then when they come back, Tony Khan's in the ring with Timeless Tony Storm, Jon Moxley, Hangman, Swerve, MJF. And he's like, we just signed a new 5-year deal with Warner Brothers Discovery. We are now the second most profitable company in pro wrestling history. AEW, 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 AEW.
I like this. And then Tony screams like, the feeling is back.
That's the new catchphrase. It's not restore the feeling. It's the feeling is back.
I like this.
Happy anniversary!
Oh my God, that's awesome. I like all this. I like the way you think. I like the Oh man, that's the close to All Out, guys. We just booked it. You welcome, Tony Khan. You welcome, Tony Khan.
Yeah, we gotta have Tony screaming out there. He rules. He's super fired up after the show as well. Like he has no voice at that point.
Oh man, I need him to basically do the pep talk, the big like rally cry that he did after All Out last year. Did I ever tell you this story that I was at the talent hotels? I won't tell you what I was doing, but I was outside with my good friends and we were touching grass. That's how I'll say it. We were touching grass outside. Not smoking it, but touching grass outside. Like on the other side, we were at the Talent Hotel in Chicago, and on the other side was a whole bunch of wrestlers. They were also touching grass. And Tony Khan came and joined the wrestlers over there. And this was, of course, the day after CM Punk, was dismissed from AEW, and he was doing a whole little big like rally call talk. He was just like, guys. We went out there and we showed them. We showed them what we're about. He was very, very excited about the show that they produced. That's the quick Spark Notes version of that, of everything. I won't tell you everything else that he was saying there, but he was just very amped and ready to go. I need him to do that at the end of All Out in the ring after the bloody war of hatred between Swerve and Hangman Adam Page. He just needs to have a rally call and announce they got a new TV deal, and that was the best show they've ever produced. Because every show is the best show they ever produced.
People want me to play the Giannis clip. This Giannis clip is 3 minutes long. Let me get the audio from it. Hold on. We're just going to listen to this Tony Khan introduction. We won't play the whole thing, but I'll pull the audio from it. I don't want to play the video because then we'll get demonetized, but I can play the audio from this. I'm gonna pull this right fast. Tony's always fired up. Bless him. He's always fired up. I hope this All Out goes better for him than All Out last year and 2 years
And
ago.
the year
Last year's All
before.
Out was really good. Yeah, last year's
Yeah,
All
it
Out
was.
was really the
It
lead
was
up
one
to
of my
it.
favorite. It was one of my favorite shows I've been to, but the quick turnaround from All In did not help it as far as anticipation going in, and then the whole CM Punk drama.
Yeah, they also had to fire the guy who they kind
Who
of
they
built
were building the
around.
show around.
Yeah.
Who was gonna main event? Oh man,
that didn't really help things either.
kind of did.
We can play the what are people saying? Oh, yeah, that's the one, the Giannis clip. I don't have, so like I'll find like where it actually is in the clip, but I'll download it, get the audio for everybody. Can I upload? Let's see how this works here. I don't want it as background music, but let me see if I can just like add it. Hold on.
But yeah, the matches they had at last year's All Out, Bryan and Ricky Starks in the strap match, Omega and Takeshita, Orange Cassidy and John Moxley, the meat matchup between Powerhouse Hobbs and Miro. Like, those were some of my favorite matches that I've seen live, especially last year. Like that show was awesome last year. And I think this year's show, if they keep it at 8 matches on the main card, and then you can add 2 to 3 matches on the 0 hour tonight on Collision, I think that it will be another great show. It may even be among their best shows of the year. It's gonna be very hard for them to top Revolution for me. Revolution is still my pay-per-view of the year. It's
gonna be a tremendous show. It's gonna be one of the best AEW shows ever. All right, I apologize for how long this setup is. Like, Tony talks. This is like the whole clip is like 3 minutes, but the big introduction's like 40 seconds in. I don't know if I can skip to that, so everyone's just gonna have to deal with the setup of Tony Khan here.
The city of Milwaukee's had a great year for championships.
I don't know if I can turn this up.
Congratulations to the city of Milwaukee. Congratulations to you on your world champion Milwaukee Bucks. I thought it would be fitting. We have the Tag Team Championship Eliminator Tournament tonight in honor of those Tag Team Championships, which are held ironically by the Young Bucks. I thought it would be a great moment to introduce the most valuable player of the NBA. No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. The MVP of the NBA.
I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious.
For AEW Rampage, ladies and gentlemen, the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Oh, bless Tony. What?
I'm dead serious.
I'm serious. I'm dead serious.
I'm serious. I'm dead
That
serious.
ruled. Hold on, I gotta just clip that portion and just go. I gotta have a new drop for.
Oh my god! Oh my god! We need that for FMC when we go to the NBA season. So anytime we have to talk about Giannis Antetokounmpo, it's just that clip. Y'all serious?
Oh, bless Tony. He tried so hard on that. He really did try.
Oh my god. I'm like in tears. Oh Jesus. Oh, I need to breathe. That was great.
I love Tony.
He's the best. He's the best. I love his exuberance, his excitement, and that he just can't control himself.
All right, I'm.
Oh man, and y'all know, if y'all follow True Hill Heat, we have plenty of Tony Khan clips. Like, my favorite one is what you probably know because you cover all the media scrums. Whatever media scrum when he was tight at WWE running the same, I think it was Memorial Day weekend. I think, yeah, it was last year's Memorial Day weekend for Double or Nothing. He's like, I'm not gonna sit back and take this fucking shit.
Oh, that was all.
He looks at,
that was all out. Yeah,
that was all out last year. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that was after. Yeah, that was after CM Punk went CM Punk. Yes, he
I'm not gonna sit
he-
back. I'm not gonna sit back and take this fucking shit. And then he
Oh,
looks
was-
around at anybody.
Yeah. He was fired up on that one. I mean, he had a lot going on that one for Tony. That was a night for him. So, I love the it wasn't the last media call, but it was a couple ago. Like, it was a nothing media call, and then when he just took shots at WPR, and he was just like, they just stick their nose in our business where it doesn't belong. I was like, yeah, Tony, get after him.
You tell him, Tony.
Okay, hold on. The new drop here. Let's upload this. I'm gonna delete that. Okay. It's going. New in the weeds drop is about to drop.
Classic.
Oh man. Bless Tony Khan.
No, I'm serious.
Tony.
I'm dead serious. The MVP of the NBA. Yeah, I'm not making this up. For AEW Rampage, ladies and gentlemen, the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Let's go.
Yes, let's go. Oh my god. Oh man, I need you to send that to me. I want that on True Heat. Oh yes, it will be used. It will be used all NBA season long on FFC. I'm going to be requesting that from Jeremy. Like anytime I'm about to talk about the leader of the Bucks. Go hit the clip. Hit the bump.
Serious. Dead serious.
I'm dead serious right now. Oh, that was great.
Appreciate you, King Potato. I think King Potato was the
Yes.
person who mentioned it. So appreciate
Yes.
you.
That was the laugh I needed for today. But yes, we got some wrestling to discuss.
Do we? Who could possibly care about wrestling right now?
Well, the great Giovanni Vinci is debuting on Friday Night SmackDown tonight. I just don't understand why they're going back to his gimmick from NXT. That
Well, he got beat up by.
They didn't even like it. They didn't even like it last time. They immediately changed it after like 2 months on the NXT. They changed it, and now they're going back to it because they kicked him out of Imperium. Because it's, I mean, this is just me. This is not a report. This is just my opinion on the interviews that I've heard from Ludwig Kaiser. Sounds like him and Kaiser don't like each other that much.
I've seen the rumor and innuendo about that. Really don't know, but I've
I don't know either, but it just sounds like it. And he may be kayfabing me, but it sounds like it to me.
Yeah. Man, there's football on tonight. Who could possibly care about wrestling?
How did you like the game? The opening night of
football? Oh, it was a great game. It came down to a toe, literally a toe. It was great, fantastic game. Look forward to the game tonight. My football team sucks, but like I'm looking forward to
the Eagles is playing tonight, right?
Yeah, Eagles and Packers tonight. Should be a good game. Should be a good one. SmackDown, the Bloodline's going to beat up DIY and Street Profits. Bailey and Tiffany Stratton will be good. I think that'll be some fun. Yeah. And then Cody and Solo. You could be right about that being set up for next week. Sure.
Are we going to actually have a premium live event with? No, it doesn't make sense for Cody not to be on Bad Blood. Like,
yeah, he's got to be on Bad Blood.
Yeah, he's like it's in Atlanta, Georgia. They have basically been running all these commercials with Metro Booming with him. Like, but if they're going to do the solo matchup at next week on the season premiere, who would then be the person to verse Cody in Atlanta?
What if he faces Metro? What if he turns against Metro? He's like, Metro, shut your hoe ass up and make some drums. And then we get Cody against Metro.
I wouldn't mind it, or Cody with Metro booming in his corner versus Drake.
Yeah.
See, we're here. What is that? Xeon hours. We're here.
Xeno
We're
Hour.
here.
Yeah.
Xeno hour. We're here. We're here.
Cody should rap over the BBL Drizzy beat.
Hey, Cody probably got some bars.
You think so?
Don't you fuck on me.
Oh, that's a hit, honestly. That's a hit, if we're being honest.
That's a hit. That's a hit. Put it, book it, do it. I'm with it. I'm here for it. They need to make that booking. Just get in with Drake, Metro booming. Future will want to be a part of it. Hey, Kenny might even show up to Atlanta. WWE's all about the crossover. This works for me.
If they could get Kendrick Lamar, they'd make that deal in a second.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Louis right. Too good of a liar not to have bars.
That's all they got. It's just lies, and whoever's the best liar wins the beef, apparently. Or whoever can expose the lie or lie about them good enough. I don't know. You decide.
He's gonna face somebody at Bad Blood. And I don't think it's gonna be Solo, but you gotta have Cody against someone. Maybe they do. I was gonna say Cody and Kevin against Tama and Tongaloa. That sounds terrible.
I can see maybe Cody and Roman versus Solo and Jacob Fatu.
Ooh. Cody and Roman teaming would be interesting. I don't know. I don't know if Cody wants to get out popped in his hometown by Roman. I don't know if Cody wants that.
He ain't about that. He's like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good on that. I'm good on that. You can save that. It's like that don't work for me, brother. Why are you screaming?
That's the pop for Roman Reigns right there.
You heard Roman was on the show?
Yeah, it's the Roman pop.
That's how people go crazy for Roman Reigns. Who do you like, Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes? Say hi to Sean.
Hi, Sean. I got tummy ache.
Talking about Cody Rhodes got a tummy ache.
Hey, Sean.
Well, Sean,
listen, me getting a tummy ache before I do literally anything in wrestling is my biggest fear right now.
You feeling? You got pounced.
Here's a fun story from that. So, if you all ever follow Shaza on Instagram, she takes her little thirst post like right in the stairway. Like she doesn't even
no decorum. No decorum.
No decorum. So I always jump in, turn my ass towards the camera, and we did. And she came up to me later, and she's like, "Dude, what are these stains on the ass of you?" Oh my god!
Running in here.
She was about to pounce me. Like she heard pounce. Look, you.
That's how I felt when Mojo was running right at me. But 5 minutes before I'm about to go out, Shaza's like, "Why are these stains on the bottom of your pants?" I had sat on something and had to go feverishly wash off the back of the pants. Otherwise, a lot of people would have thought I crapped my pants during that.
Do we have this photo? Did she post this photo?
No, on her private account. But the original pitch was for me to take an Alabama Slam. It's the first thing I've said no to. And 100% of the wrestlers that heard it said, I wouldn't take an Alabama Slam.
That's a rough one. That's a rough one, the Alabama Slam.
Oh, here's the way I looked at it. If I took the pounce, maybe I get a concussion. If I take the Alabama Slam, I will get a concussion.
Yeah, that one's a tough one.
My brain is all I have. It's my only physical attribute. Let me tell you this. I did no training for this to prepare for this one compared to the other spots. I'm feeling it 2 days later. It does not feel good at all. I hurt more now after that spot than I did probably the entire Shaza match or the Effie match.
You gonna be okay to go to the game this weekend?
Real worker.
Oh yeah, dude. It's open in orange. I'm gonna look like a fucking traffic cone. Are you kidding me?
Sean, oh yeah, that's actually a good question. Rate the Big Show drop toe hold. Let me pull this back up.
Oh God, no, not again.
Know the
Is this
classic?
the Kane one?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, it's the only time he would have done one for sure.
it's the greatest match of all time.
It was ridiculous. It was so stupid.
It's the greatest match of all time. So the Big Show, first off, look at that footwork. Amazing footwork. All right. That's
Yeah,
fine.
I
Big
remember
Show.
this vividly. They went in and they're
As
like,
you
"Oh,
should.
look what we can do!"
And I
Look
said
at this
this is
drop
First
toe
off,
hold.
this is the
a
actual
bad
speed.
hammer lock, and
How
oh,
dare
it wasn't a bad
Leg
single
sweep.
leg trip. That's too funny.
Look at that
hammer
drop
lock
toe
is
hold,
bad.
though. Look at that drop toe hold. That was
Okay,
clean.
so as we watch it, he technically did it right, but you don't want to be on your back when you do it. I can't believe I'm breaking this down seriously. You don't want to be on your back when you do it because that person ideally is just going to turn to their left and have top control on you. That's why when you do it, you want to switch your hips and you place the left foot in front, you place the right foot behind, you kick them, you knock them down. And ideally, you're taking their back, you're taking a leg, you're taking something. You're not just flat on your back, like, yeah. So you see, like, that's what he did. He went over the dude's back, but he didn't switch his hips. He just rolled over him, which I guess works for Paul White.
Yeah, counterpoint. It's the Big Show, and like, who's gonna like take that man's legs?
Well, here's something I do like about it because he obviously, like, it's a physical thing why he can't switch his hips. If he was my size, he would have. He pushes down on Kane's head as he look at that, bank. So that keeps Kane from really doing anything like that, like
I think he does
popping
another
up on
drop
his
toe
hips.
hold. Let's yeah, look. There's the other one.
They did too.
Yeah. Oh, Kane does one too. This is a
Oh,
technical
boy.
classic right here, Sean.
Oh,
They were
Kane
they
took
were
that
just
horribly.
trading drop toe holds.
Kane took that so slowly. So when I do it, what I like to do, if
Look
you
at
watch
this.
the Shaza thing, I have wrist control when I do that, and I had to swing around for the taunt. But ideally, you can hold onto the wrist and then just hop over and take a hammer lock from there as well. Let's see. That go behind. Okay. Boy, that is exactly the go behind I didn't want to do to Effie. That is like that standing switch. Like ideally, when you're breaking a waist lock, so what you're trying to do is break their grip. So you're trying to get below their hips to break it. What I do, I go double wrist lock. I grab their wrist, I reach around, and that helps break whatever clinch they have. If they have an S grip, if they have like palm to palm, whatever. I'm not sure what Big Show had there. But what doesn't break it is just simply turning to your left. That doesn't work. So what you got to do is,
I don't know if
Go
Kane
ahead.
has his hands locked here. Big Show's so strong.
oh my God. Yeah. I mean, that is also legitimately a thing. This is a 550-pound human being. We're talking like before he lost the Mayweather weight and all that stuff. But like that is exactly the go behind I didn't want to do. So like I made sure that whenever we did it, somebody said reach around. Very funny. You drop down, then you go around and you have the waist. You want your hips underneath theirs whenever you get there. But my God. I remember that. I don't remember all the spots. Was that another drop toe hold?
Yeah. Into the corner.
Kane's drop toe hold.
That was not even a drop toe hold. All due respect to Kane. That was barely a trip. That we'll call that
That's
an
just
Olay.
smart wrestling. That's
No,
just
it was
smart
not.
wrestling.
No.
He's using. He moves out of the way. The man's
Stop it.
coming after him.
fell. He
and
fell.
he trips him.
He fell and accidentally tripped him.
Can't believe y'all have no respect for this.
That's
technical
like
masterpiece.
it's not
Yeah,
flying.
break
it's
down this
falling
one,
with
Sean. Look at
style.
this.
That's what this is.
Break down this one, Sean. What happens here? Like Kane's going to the top rope and the fire burns.
Oh, is this where Gallows did his little gimmick?
Yeah.
Did he come out here? Did he have the fake hair?
I don't
he
think
comes
this is
out
when
there.
he actually
Yeah.
comes out. This is when
Okay.
he's still haunting him.
Yeah, it's funny because that era of WWE was getting real bad, and I was actually like, oh, cool, a fake Kane. Like I'm cool with that. Like, why not? The Undertaker did it, and I liked that story. I really did, because people look back on it now and they're like, oh man, they was so bad. I'm like, guys, when we were in school, everybody thought the Ultimate Warrior had died and they replaced him. Like this was a thing. There was no internet back then to really debunk this stuff. And shocker, me at 6-7 years old, I was not subscribing to the Wrestling Observer newsletter at that point.
No.
I was not in the chat rooms at that point, but I was like, yeah, why not do that? Boy, they gave up on that thing pretty quick. They did.
Hey,
I was
Warrior
there. I
came
was at the
back-
show.
When he came
Go
back
ahead.
at WrestleMania 8 with that short hair, I did think it was a different person because he looked so much smaller than he did before he left.
Yeah.
I was at the show when Kane took fake Kane outside and just tossed him, and that was the last we ever saw of the fake Kane.
I will say, when I first saw the Renegade in WCW, I thought that was Warrior at first too.
Yeah.
I mean,
True.
listen, we're talking about that 360p quality TV at that time. They were counting on that, and they had him with the frizzy hair. And boy, if you would have put him next to the Ultimate Warrior, it would have looked nothing like Ultimate Warrior was so much bigger than him. Man,
I thought it was his son. I was like, is this the Warrior's son or something? Because it did look different, but it was close enough where I was like, could be related to Warrior at least, maybe. It's working with
wild. They
with
put the TV
Hogan.
title on him, man.
Yeah.
It's just that whole thing. You never hear him talked about, and that dude had a 3-month reign as the TV champion. Unreal. It's like the people around him being TV champion were like Arn Anderson, DDP, Lex Luger. It's just, and man, Fightful Select idea, SRS rates drop toe holds. Listen, I'm very confident in my ability to throw a good drop toe hold. Dare I say one of the best. But
There we go.
Big Show and Kane? No.
John, I have a very important question for you. First off, before I ask my question, someone is asking, are we getting a fake hologram? The AEW trademarked the clone. It's a real trademark. Okay.
I mean, I kind of hope. I like fake person storylines. I dig them. I'm cool with them. I like when they did the Sin Cara thing. I thought that made a lot of sense to do that. Why not do it? Why not give him something?
Okay.
Sure.
Very important question for you. Do you know who the 2019 and 2020 NBA MVP is?
No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. The MVP of the NBA. Yeah, I'm not making this.
Whoa, stop it. Stop it.
Why?
I do know the answer to this.
Okay. No, stop.
I'm serious. I'm dead serious. The MVP of the NBA. Yeah, I'm not making this up. For AEW Rampage, ladies and gentlemen, the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Boss me every time.
I had the clip, Sean.
Happy anniversary!
Tony Khan yells. Oh, this dead air is going to be perfect for the people listening on podcasts.
I had that clip pulled up already.
Your sound wasn't good. I have a full on drop. You have to get the part where he's serious, He's dead serious. It's an important part of it.
I'm serious. I'm dead serious.
Oh man.
This is why the people watch In the Weeds, Sean.
I'm gonna go eat some roast.
Good call. Good call. Oh man.
I don't know what else we're talking about.
All Out this weekend. What's the match you're looking forward to the most, Jeremy?
Hangman and Swerve. I mean, it's Hangman and Swerve.
Well, outside the main event. I think that's the obvious answer for everybody.
Okay, fine. You didn't clarify outside the main event.
I apologize, but if you're gonna pick the easy one, gotta clarify.
Mercedes and Sheeta should be really good. I'm looking forward to that as they continue to drill at my house. I'm looking forward to I know Pac and Ospreay is going to be good. Like, the build's been good. I know it's going to be a great match, Like, okay, I'm looking forward to Danielson. It's Danielson. What?
I'm looking forward to Danielson because it's Danielson. Not because of Jack Perry, the scapegoat.
I mean,
Chicago's favorite wrestler. Absolutely. I am looking forward. I think Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander have kind of gotten the short end of the stick as far as their rivalry and their build up to the matchup coming up at All Out. Like, you had Willow right there on Wednesday, and they wouldn't even let her talk because they was like, "No, you guys are going to go face to face on Collision, so you don't need to talk right now." But Willow Nightingale is a great promo, so I think that if they would have gave her more opportunities talk up her rivalry with Chris Statlander, people would be more anticipating that matchup. But I think when the bell rings, if they get enough time, that should be a great matchup because Willow is awesome in these no DQ matches. Chris Statlander, the women of AEW in general, just always over deliver in whatever street fights that they are given. So I expect that to be a great matchup. And MJF and Daniel Garcia, I am interested in the matchup, but I'm more interested in the result because I think the result of the matchup is going to be very telling on where this feud is going to go, because it could very easily be Daniel Garcia wins to avenge, MJF injuring him a couple of months ago, as well as the beatdown, the attack on Wednesday. The Wednesday whole angle, it did make Daniel Garcia look like a chump. So I think he needs the win on Saturday. So yeah, I think if he wins, that could be the end of this rivalry. But if he loses and MJF wins, they could prolong it and push it out a little bit longer and kind of further flesh out both characters in this whole rivalry here that could really elevate Garcia in the end of it if he gets the big blow-off victory of this all. But either way, I'm interested in the result of that matchup.
Assuming Daniel Garcia has re-signed, which we don't know. A lot of people have assumed that's the case, but we're not positive on it. Assuming he has, Daniel Garcia should win this match. MJF can take a loss and be fine. I don't think you can continue to beat, even if you have a bigger plan of, Garcia is going to get the win back down the road. There's no guarantee of that. There's no guarantee he's going to be seen the same if he just loses this match. I wouldn't beat him as much as they've beaten him, and then him lose this match as his big comeback and then loses. I'd also be very interested in how MJF looks coming off essentially back-to-back losses. It's not even essentially, it is. Like, where does he go from that? I think there could be something interesting with that if they decide to go there. I'd just be very concerned about Garcia losing and then trying to get the crowd back behind him if he does lose. If he hasn't resigned, then fine. He can lose and he's not really a concern anymore. But if he has, at some point you got to make this guy with a win. And now is probably the time to do that instead of Oh, we won't do it now, but we'll do it. What's it? The next pay-per-view is Full Gear. We'll do it in 2 months at Full Gear. Oh no, the next one's Wrestle Dream. Sorry, I forgot they keep adding pay-per-views. We'll do it in a month at Wrestle Dream. I don't know if it's gonna be as hot as it is in a month. I don't know if he's gonna have the type of support he has in a month if he loses this match. So it feels like you got to strike and go ahead and have him win this match.
Yeah, I think Garcia should win the matchup on Saturday, but I don't think he should deliver the power driver off the top rope, because I feel like that has become like the main thing of this rivalry between the two. And maybe you could lead that to like a Texas death match between the two, last man standing matchup, where Daniel Garcia eventually does hit that power driver on him. But I think the bigger thing for him is hitting the power driver. So if Garcia can reverse a big move and get a roll-up victory on MJF, win the matchup, and then in the post-match, MJF gets his heat back, I think that helps both guys in continuing the rivalry. But I agree with you. I don't think Daniel Garcia can afford a loss here, especially after the angle that they did on Wednesday.
Yeah, you're going to have him lose after getting smashed up with that glass and MJF cutting the promo next to his bloody head. Okay, we don't have to run down the full card. I am curious as your thoughts on the winner and loser between Hangman and Swerve, though.
I think that Hangman Adam Page, he's due. He's due the victory, and especially because of the way they've kind of booked his wins and losses since his return. I think that he needs the victory. I think that Swerve Strickland will be perfectly fine, and plus them making it an unsanctioned lights out matchup, it will really, the way that Swerve can easily get back at him, and if Hangman says that he got the victory, is that it doesn't count. It doesn't count.
I hate that. I hate that. One, they don't do records and rankings anymore, so who cares?
No.
Two, I hate it because that doesn't sound like Swerve's character to me.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, you pinned me, you beat me, but it was lights out, it doesn't count. Like, that just doesn't sound like something Swerve would do. Like, Swerve would actually take the loss and be like, no, this man beat me. I can't.
Oh no, I think that it's gonna be. I think Jimmy Macaram suggested this, but it'd be like the finish to Austin versus Triple H in the 3 stages of hell. Swerve's got a cinder blocks. Hangman's got a chain wrapped around his arm, and he does the buckshot lariat with the chain at the same time that Swerve hits him with the cinder block, and Hangman falls on top of Swerve and gets the win that way. Where it's a cheap win, but Hangman has finally beaten Swerve, but Swerve can easily kind of talk his way out of that. He doesn't have to do it in the way of, oh, it didn't count, but he could be like, hey, you complained about me, beating you in cheap ways. That was cheap. You just fell on top of me.
I like that finish. I think that's a good finish. I hated when it happened with Austin and Triple H. So I'm like, why is Austin losing when he's about to challenge for the title? It's stupid.
I agree with especially when they're gonna freaking become a team. Yeah. The most logical thing would have been Triple H goes babyface because Austin went heel, and they just ruined that.
Yeah. I do like that finish. I think there might be some elite shenanigans, and I think that's how the elite try to really get back on Hangman's good side, because you brought up the point of Hangman saying, oh, you needed Brian Cage, you needed Nana, like you didn't, and then the other time was a draw, you didn't actually beat me. So the elite coming in and helping Hangman, but Hangman saying like, I didn't really want their help, they just did that on their own volition. But like, I think that could be something as well. I think Hangman's probably going to win this match. I also think there could be something to be said of Hangman's The Rock and Swerve is Austin, and he just cannot beat him. I know in the end, Rock finally got that victory, but before that, he just could not beat him. And then you put the feud on the back burner for a little while. And when you finally do come back to it, You have all this history to play off of, and the biggest history to play off of is you can't beat me. So
I agree. I agree with that. Like I think that this matchup, even though they have heated it up and it's the most anticipated for tomorrow's show, they have to have one matchup that's for the AEW World Championship.
yeah.
And in an ideal world, it's Hangman finally beating Swerve and winning back the AEW World Championship, because that has been a key factor in this whole entire feud that started 1 year ago today. It was the fact that Hangman has gotten all the opportunity. Hangman is a former AEW World Champion, and Swerve believed if he got the same opportunities, he would have been the first Black AEW World Champion. And he used that rivalry with Hangman to propel himself to the main event scene and eventually become the AEW World Champion. And I think that Swerve will be a two-time AEW World Champion. And 9 times out of 10, I always thought going into All In that you have Brian win there, Brian hold the title for a couple of months, and then back in Tacoma next month at Wrestle Dream, you do Swerve versus Brian, which is also a case of you can't beat me, because now Swerve is 0-2 against Brian Danielson, and he finally beats Brian in his home state of Washington, gets back the AEW World Championship. But the guy that beats him this time needs to be Hangman Adam Page to become a 2-time AEW World Champion himself, because the title is a central figure in this whole entire rivalry, that they have to do one big pay-per-view matchup for the AEW World Championship.
Before All In, I said that Hangman ends Danielson's reign at Wrestle Dream, and they go from there. This was before Hangman and Swerve became official for All Out. And my theory then was they weren't going to do that match at All Out. Hangman wins, beats Danielson at Wrestle Dream. Then you go to Hangman and Swerve for, you can do a World's End or Full Gear on the year anniversary of the Texas Death Match. And that's when Hangman beats Swerve for the first time to defend the title. That was my booking before All In. And obviously now with All Out, you have Hangman and Swerve. But I still think Hangman ending Danielson's reign at Wrestle Dream, there's some merit to that. I also think that Christian coming in after Danielson beats whoever he's going to beat, Christian coming in and just ruining Danielson's moment in front of, I assume his family's going to be there in Washington, and that being the end of Danielson and you put the title on Christian is also a possibility. But yeah, I'm with you on Hangman and Swerve. At some point they will have a match for the world title. I wouldn't go back to it too quickly after what they're going to do.
No, this
Saturday.
is probably going to be a year from now,
Yeah.
like next year. They can run that back, but yeah, they need to kind of stay away from each other for a little while after this steel cage match.
Yeah. All right, everybody enjoy All Out this weekend. Enjoy the head-to-head collision and SmackDown tonight, or football if you're going to watch football. Enjoy the football on Saturday if you're going to watch on Saturday. Whatever you're doing this weekend, enjoy your weekend. SP3, go ahead and plug everything.
Follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. I will be live in less than an hour with our good friend Joe Holbert of the Late Night Grid, and Russell Pierce will be live to full preview and predictions for AEW All Out 2024 over on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. So join us live for that. I'll also be live tomorrow, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time, the True Hill Heat flagship podcast with myself, the True Jaw Josh, Miss Chrissy Love, breaking down the whole week from professional wrestling, everything between Odyssey Jones, the Kevin Kelly and Tate twins, suing Tony Khan and AEW, and of course, final predictions for All Out. So join us live for that as well, and hit the subscribe button as we're trying to push to 20,000 subscribers over on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel before the end of the year. So appreciate all y'all support, and appreciate Jeremy and Joel for allowing me to fill in for Joel today on the In the Weeds, as I am the honorary secret third host of the show.
To show Joel, he might be back on Monday. I don't know. SP3, are you potentially available on Monday?
I can work out my schedule. Maybe I'll be free. Maybe
All right.
We'll see.
Okay. Well, 'cause I don't know what Joel's gonna do. Again, 2-Show Joel. That's his name around here. Appreciate everybody. Everybody subscribe to the channel. Again, leave a thumbs up. Everyone check out Coexisting with Rob and Maggie at 3 p.m. Eastern today. They'll be talking about everything going on in the world of wrestling. That is right here on this channel. Until then, we'll see y'all Monday. Bye, everyone.